Hi YouTube, please give me a moment while I connect Facebook. We'll be getting started shortly. And I think we should be live on Facebook. Hi everybody, welcome to the Strategic Swing Trader weekly broadcast. I am Sami ABSI, Director of Education at T3 Live. Hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about some amazing swing ideas for next week. But before we start, as always, a standard required disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss is for educational purposes only. If you are new to our channel, please be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Also, be sure to download a copy of my free ebook. Link for that is in the description below. Without further ado, let's turn to the charts. If you find benefit in today's video, please be sure to hit the like button. And if you have any questions for us, need help in any way, shape, or form, email us, info@t3live.com. Okay, so we'll talk about the market first, and then we'll go over the swing ideas for next week. So the market, as you can see, this is the daily chart of the QQQ, which is the NASDAQ basically. It's the top 100 companies in the NASDAQ, but they make up about like 95% of the NASDAQ's capitalization, so it's the same as the NASDAQ. As you can see, we got a huge red bar on Thursday, and now the moving average is starting to point down, right? After a wide range red bar, the next day, like at least 80% of the time, is a narrow range bar or an inside day. So that's what we got on Friday. So now, if we take out Thursday's low, then we're likely lower, especially if we gap below it. If, let's say, on Monday we wake up and the market is gapping down a huge amount. So if we take out and close below 435 on the Qs, then we're likely lower. I never tried to predict the top on the way up because it's really hard to do it. But now that we have the break, the potential breakdown, then yeah, now I have a line in the sand, which is 435. If we take it out and close below it, then we're likely lower. Lower to where to? Probably to the 20 on the weekly chart, the 20 period moving average on the weekly, somewhere here. We might also end up taking it, continuing a little bit lower, to here, but that's premature. We haven't even gotten the breakdown. So I have no idea what kind of a pullback we might get. We might not even get a pullback because we have to take out that red bar's low. If we don't take it out and we just base or we go back up on Monday or Tuesday, you never know. So I'm not saying we will get the pullback. I'm just saying we might. It's looking more likely now than ever before, at least the last several months, 6 months or 7 months. This is most likely so far. The closest we've gotten to a breakdown, and we need to take out 435. On the SPY, it's the same thing. Thursday's low, 412.75. But the SPY is more bullish than the Qs. The 20 is still pointing up. But for the first time, we're closing below it. I don't know if we closed below it actually. We might have not closed below it on Friday, but for sure on Thursday. Whereas before that, show me a close below the 20. Maybe like here, that tiny bar. So it's been months since we closed below the 20. The IWM looks similar to the Qs in that the 20 is pointing down or pointed down and starting to look lower. The IWM doesn't have as much room to fall on the weekly, just to $200 or so. At least that's where the next likely target to be. So we'll see, but you have the line in the sand now established, which is Thursday's low. In terms of the ideas, I got a lot of long ideas, believe it or not, and a lot of short ideas. In the video description, I didn't post this watch list. I posted my entire daily watch list. So normally I just post the watch list that I review, but in this case, there's a lot of good ones, and these are not necessarily the best of, the best ones. These are like the ones that I feel are more likely to go than not on Monday. But there's some nice ones in the watch list that I posted. So ABSI, if you look at the daily chart, you might not think there's anything special about it, right? If you look at the monthly, that's a pretty nice monthly. I always like it when when that 20 MA on the monthly starts to point up, and which leads to a breakout. It's like the wicks, for example. You see how it led to a breakout, which is starting to look like it's going to pull back. Or, you know, like right now, W is looking pretty good. I don't know if it's going to work, that transition on the monthly on W, but ABSI is working already. So I like it higher over 5, it's 576, let's call it 580. Stop, okay, we can use the tight stop, which is 490, but if you like it long term, I suggest using 439 or so under this pivot, the double bottom, which should be the weekly support, like this bar's low. Okay, so for longer term trades, I prefer to use large stops so as to not get shaken out. The ADCT is the same idea, basically. Has a better weekly and a similar monthly. Not as good of a monthly as the ABSI. So ADCT, it kind of triggered already, but I would say over here, over 540, stop under $4 as a monthly transition A. BBY, that's Best Buy. Oh, I'm clicking, it's not going. Best Buy doesn't look so hot on the daily. Look at that monthly transitioning. So ultimately, the Best Buy needs to take out 83.40. Needs to take out 83.40, but one can get in maybe a little bit early, like right here and then over here. Is that 83.40? That's so really the earliest one can get it is 80.85. That's like the soonest you could get it. Now I like it. I want to see it take out 83.40, but if I wait for 83.40, that means I would end up getting in it up here. Too big of a stop. So I like it over 80.85 with a tight stop under 78.35 as a longer term play. BHC is already an open position from here. So, and it popped really hard. They had some news. I didn't take anything because I was thinking long term. Look at the BHC on the monthly chart. So it looks higher to like $20 maybe on the monthly. It had some news, had a huge top and tail. So not great, but long over this bar's high. Stop right here to add to the position or as a new position if you're not in it already. It is an open play from back here is when I called it. Stop right here. So, but looking to potentially add to it. Okay, that's gold. I was going to talk about gold stocks at the bottom right here. FSLR is the only solar stock that looks good. And if you look at the monthly on FSLR, that looks pretty good. That's a W pattern on the monthly. Looks good to 220 or so. Where's the entry and the stop? We can't use the monthly. It's too big of a stop. The entry would be over 179. Up, I think it's like 178.80. Oh no, that's 177. Okay, so it should be over, that's 177.89, so it should be over 178. Tightest stop would be Friday's low, but I would give it to this pivot right here, which is 162. So over 178 by 162, target about 220. Long-term trade. Humana might have bottomed, so I like it higher over 314.50. Tightest stop would be Friday's low, 307.70, and target about here on the Humana, down a lot and put in the volume, likely to move up for at least a couple days. So this would be a swing trade, not a long-term trade. The HUYA triggered on Friday. I was live on the mic when it triggered, but is it too late? I don't think so. Why do I not think it's too late? Because of how good the monthly chart looks. This is a Chinese stock. A lot of the China stocks are looking good. We're in the TME, which still look, oh, I have it on the list actually. Still looks good. See the TME? It's the same as the HUYA. Looks good. The other one that I like also that's Chinese is YMM. Looks pretty good over 760, 761. Another one would be the QFIN. Those are maybe right now my top 4 or 5 China stocks. So HUYA is the one that made the list for today because it's such a pretty monthly chart. Over 507, call it 510. Stop under 423, call it 420. So at 419. So 510 by 419, long-term trade on the HUYA. TME would be over the prior high, over here, over 1180 by 1080. Now, the original play on it is from way back here, I think, but looking to add to it. The LICY is okay. It's not incredible because the pullback was pretty deep. The top and tail is huge, but I like it higher over 112 with a tight stop under 88 cents. Target maybe almost $2 on the LICY. I like the weekly even more on the LICY. Notice that curling 20 MA, so I like it. Not too bad. Netflix, I mean, looks higher to the all-time high. Over the highs, stop down here. The same exact thing with Facebook, so Meta. Similar setup. Breakout over the highs, stop down here. Amazon is also bullish. Amazon is really bullish. Microsoft is very bullish. Microsoft is a daily buy setup. Apple might have bottomed. Extremely sloppy, but look at the monthly chart. You see the monthly, so Apple may be bottoming. I know Tesla has got some news and it's supposed to be gapping up, so this was like might end up being a breakdown failure, but Tesla daily chart is very, very iffy, but it's supposed to be gapping up. So a lot of the big names still look good. So what else is a big name? So Google is at the all-time high. Nvidia is not as good. Nvidia, I think, is like the third biggest company now. Yeah, Nvidia broke down a little bit. It would have to take out the red bars high for me to be bullish on it again. So Nvidia is the one that doesn't look as good at the moment. Actually, some of the semis don't look good at all, like the SMCI. That looks pretty good short. ARM maybe doesn't look as good. But yeah, ARM not as good, but the SMCI looks lower. At any rate, so Netflix looks higher. PUBM is an open position. I'm looking to add on the breakout. So over 24.30 or so. Stop under 22.50 on the PUBM. Look at the monthly on it. That's the favorite pattern, one of my favorite patterns of all time. And then TME we talked about. Gold. I know gold stocks have been ripping, have been really, really bullish. Here are some gold stocks that are not too late to get in. The AGI is a weekly breakout, weekly 1, 2, 3. So like it higher over 1510 by 1438 on the AGI. Another one that looks just like it is the R Gold, the RGLD. So long over that bar's high, stop under it. Target the prior highs. And then these 2, 3 look different. The BTG triggered already on this day, so that was Wednesday, but could have actually added to it myself on Friday. I didn't, so it's not too late. I think over 286, stop under 270. The SPSW is not as good, but same pattern. Look at that nice rounded bottom on the daily, so I like it higher, just over that bar's high maybe. Stop under it, because the BTG, the SPSW are a little bit late, whereas the R Gold, the R AGI, it's not that it wouldn't have been better to get in them here, but they still have a setup, the AGI and the RGLD. And the last one is the SSRM, which is the weakest probably gold stock out there, but it does have a nice monthly. That's a climactic buy setup on the monthly. That's a nice weekly. So super tight stop. The only issue is gold might be, getting close to a pullback. And so if this stock pops, and gold starts to pull back, if we use a tight stop, could easily get shaken out. So over 492, let's say 495, stop under 466. Target $7 or $8 maybe. But again, it's a bit questionable because here's GLD. Might be getting close to, ready to pull back a little bit. So those are 4 or 5 gold stocks that I think are still okay. The other ones are too late. Here's some short watches. The energy stocks have been really bullish. If you look at USO monthly, it's got a monthly buy setup, but it's too late for now. A lot of the oil stocks, I have HAL, has a monthly buy setup. I already sold half. A lot of the oil stocks have monthly buy setups, except for this BORR. Look at the monthly on BOR. Looks like it's going to break down, doesn't it? So I like it short under 570. This bar is low. Stop above it. We can give it a little bit more room. Like that's 595. Maybe you can give it to 605. Stop under 570 and target to 450. So it has plenty of room. And notice the daily breaking down. The biggest thing about it that I don't like is it's an ADR, I think. It says limited LTD, but I believe it's an ADR because it gaps a lot. So we'll see. The Ionic, IONQ base breakdown. So under the base, stop above Thursday's high. The max is rolling over, so it's like a 1, 2, 3, very similar to the SMCI, which is on the list actually. Same exact pattern. Short under the bar's low, stop above it, and target maybe 16 or the rising 20 on the weekly. MDU. Okay, MDU is a climactic weekly. So that's a pretty good weekly. Under the bars low, stop above it. Or you want a tighter stop, super tight. Short, stop. Oh my goodness. That, and if it worked, it would be really, really nice with a tight stop. PPSI gap down under the whole year basically, and it's been basing, so I like it as an hourly base breakdown. Under the lows, whatever the lowest point is, stop above the base. Okay? The Roku is very, very weak, but I feel like I missed the breakdown on the Roku. You see it? And it also has support not too far below. The same with Twilio. You know, basing for a breakdown, but again, not too far below. These are like, I mean, Roku, I think, is the third biggest holding in the ARC ETF. You know, it's just, you know, it's crazy to me how, you know, she's holding on to Roku, holding on to, like, this is even worse. You is in the top. You're not worse. The stock U is super weak. That's in the top 10 of the ARC holdings. I mean, SoFi, there's so many of them that look really terrible. And so Twilio also, I believe, is top 10. Looks lower. These are not, I mean, they're okay. This is a weekly sell setup, but they don't have a lot of room to drop. So I'm hoping the market stays bullish because I'm going to be focusing on the longs. In terms of crypto, it just popped not too long ago. It was doing a 4-hour buy setup, Bitcoin. So take a look right here on that 4-hour chart. It looks good. It looks higher. Here's the daily chart of Bitcoin. Of course, you know, the 20 is flat. It's been very sloppy, but it does look higher. So I like Bitcoin higher. Ethereum is much weaker. Probably goes up with Bitcoin, but much weaker. The weakest one is the Solana right now. That doesn't look very good, does it? Solana doesn't look good. BNB is looking good, but I think you can only get it probably on Binance US. So I'm in it. Love it. I added 1.2. It's like $75,000 worth of whatever it is, BTC, just yesterday at 68,000, over 68. 6820 was my fill. If you want to know the exact fill, 6820. So I'm playing that, adding to my position. So that's Bitcoin. Again, Ethereum is a bit weak. Solana, definitely not. Those are like the permanent 4 that I watch, you know, the big 4. Here's some additional ideas. SPSA or SPA, SPAU. I'm sorry. SPA, just SPA is a daily buy setup. A lot of tails, but it's a daily buy setup. REQ is a daily buy setup. The Dogecoin looks beautiful. Actually looks better than any of the ones that I reviewed so far. The DOGE, right? The PNG looks okay, getting ready for a pop probably for a daily buy setup. I like these as well. I mean, there's a bunch that I like. BHC is the strongest right now. This is Bitcoin Cash is the strongest, but it's late if you're not in. I'm not in. So it's pretty late. So I just wanted to share my thoughts about crypto. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and be sure to hit that like button. Leave a comment if you have any questions, or reach out info@t3live.com. I wish you all the best with your trading, and I hope to see you around. Take care, everybody. See you on the next video. Bye.